Hello and welcome to WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. Joining me in the studio is a past president of the Jasper Optimist Club, now the Lieutenant Governor of Zone 7 for the Optimist International, and that is Jessica Mehringer. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Hi, nice to meet you and thanks for having me.
Glad to have you here. Now, we have you here really kind of for two reasons. One is we want to talk about the Optimist Club, and the reason we want to talk about the Optimist Club because you do great work like these things that you're holding in your hand, which are tourniquets that we're going to talk about. First of all, let's talk about the Jasper Optimist Club. How old is the club?
The club is nearly 40 years old.
Wow, it's been around for a long time then.
It has.
Okay, and you're a past president. Now you're the Lieutenant Governor of Zone 7?
Zone 7 for the Indiana South District. That means that we are basically from Terre Haute south. And Zone 7 includes Jasper's Club, Petersburg's Club, Springs Valley's Club, and Huntingburg's Club.
Okay, and let's talk about the work that the Optimists do. What are things that the Optimists do?
Well, the Optimists have several purposes. Obviously, one of the first ones is to create an optimistic atmosphere as much as possible. And two or three of the other ones that, one in particular that everyone knows the Optimist Club for is our support of the youth. Mm-hmm. And we label ourselves the friend of youth. We also have a purpose of the Optimist Club that is to inspire respect for law. And then we have one that inspires patriotism as well. So you'll see the Optimist Club of Jasper being very active in all of those purposes of Optimists.
Okay. And the Optimist Club, you meet how often, and should everybody join?
I think everyone should join. It is an amazing club. We just had a NOW event in June that added 26 new members to our club, and that is outstanding. And Optimist International is obviously very excited about it because it's an organized event that they give you guidelines on how to run it, and we were just really happy with that. But we always are looking for new members. We have a large area here. With that NOW event, it put us about 120 members, which it makes us, I think, a fairly large club in this area. And we serve a lot of youth as a result of the projects that we do.
Are there requirements to be a member? Do you have to hold a certain position in the community, or can it just be regular people? I'm sure you got to pay dues, but
we have dues. They're $30 a year, and that's if you give a minimum of 12 hours of your time over the course of a year.
Okay.
So we have due structure where if you don't have as much time, you can pay a higher due if you wanted to be involved, but can't be that involved. And then we also have dues that allow people to be financial members and support us financially that don't require them to give any of their time. So there's a due structure, so to speak, and anyone that's interested in finding out more about that can certainly, contact the Jasper Optimist Club, myself. I'm in the phone book. Excuse me.
Obviously, it's very, very reasonable too. The price. That's waste that
much.
Well,
I think so. I think so. We recently just restructured the entire dues. What we're doing with it, because we used to have a flat fee that was much more. Okay. And I think that kind of spurred more interest in people. Obviously, we'd like to try to get our membership growing in the age bracket of kids that are, I call them kids because I work with college kids all the time, but with young people in our community that are 20 to 30 to get them active and to keep our club vibrant and growing and increase the longevity of our club in the community as well.
How often does your club meet, and then do you meet at the same place every time?
We will meet at the same place every time. Our club meets 2 times a month on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday. And Tuesdays, we're meeting at the Sycamore Room at the Ramada Inn now, the Bainbridge. And Tuesday's meeting, the first Tuesday, the second Tuesday of the month, sorry, I don't want to confuse anyone, is at 12:30 at the Sycamore Room, and then it's at 6:30 in the evening on the 4th Tuesday of the month, trying to get as many people an opportunity to be able to come to a meeting.
So you have a noon meeting and an evening meeting.
Right.
Okay. And do you have to go to every meeting? I mean, you like club members, obviously, to come to every meeting, but...
Well, I know that our current president, Kurt Heiss, is going to try to do some fun things to make the meetings fun and informative. Obviously, we have speakers at our meetings. We do a program, and that can vary from, that's a wide variance of people that come and speak to our club. But he's trying to do some things to make them more fun for people to come to. No, you are not required to come to meetings, but that can count towards your hours of service to the club.
Of course, I think you join a club like that because you want to socialize and network with other people, and that's the great opportunity about that is you're spending lunch an hour with people of like minds.
Right.
Okay, now, you've done some great work in that just recently you have given tourniquets to what departments?
We supplied the Jasper City Police Department. We supplied the Indiana State Police patrol officers that patrol here in Jasper or close to Jasper, DuBois County. The DuBois County Sheriff's Department, we supplied all of their deputies with them, and as well as the conservation officers.
Okay, and what we're talking about are tourniquets to stop bleeding, right?
Right.
You've got one in your hand. We'll kind of show people how they work a little bit. These tourniquets are they of a large size?
No, and they're fairly light too. I think probably what the officers will be doing, I'm just guessing, will be just storing these in their units, in their squad cars. And they're going to be trained on how to use them, obviously, but they're single use, mainly because they're fabric and because people will be bleeding, obviously, when you're using them. But hopefully they'll be a life-saving tool for the officers that are patrolling our area, help make our community safer.
It's one of those things, I guess you don't think about how important that would be to have that in a patrol car because they're really going to be the first responder. I know that the EMS is on their way, but oftentimes if they can get the bleeding stopped right away, that can save a life.
Actually, we did talk about that, and they agreed Wednesday, or when we presented these to the officers. I mentioned that oftentimes police officers are the first ones on the scene, and so for them to be equipped with these is pretty nice, because if there's major blood loss happening, that can make a difference between life and death for someone.
What made the Jasper Optimist Club think of doing this, giving tourniquets? I mean, there's a million things you could do, but this is one great thing that I wouldn't have thought of.
Right. Well, I have to credit a member, Tom Foisey, a longtime member of our club, who read an article in the Evansville Courier and Press about the Evansville Police Department being equipped with these by their foundation, and that they had been used at least twice within like 3 weeks of being equipped with them to save lives. One was a little girl that had gotten hit by a car. They had used it on her, and I don't remember the other one exactly, but he brought that to our attention at a morning meeting, and I kind of took the ball and ran with it, so to speak, and approached the board about providing them, and our board, of course, was on board with doing that, and it goes in alignment with our respect to inspire respect for law, and in this case, I think by promoting the presentation of these two, it kind of will help the community gain a little bit more of an appreciation for our law enforcement officers as well. And
it'll be something that you're going to wish they had if they hadn't had it. But now they have it. You may just, it's one of those things too we're going to take for granted.
Right.
A year from now we may not realize where these came from. We want to make sure that you get credit now. Yeah. How many of these tourniquets did you get? There's a lot of police officers.
Well, the board approved the purchase of 75 of them, which is a substantial amount of money, but we have it, and we wanted to do this for the law enforcement officials, and I think if you had a chance to interview any of them, that you would see a very appreciative group of people. They were really excited to be able to get these these tourniquets and be supplied with them. Obviously, it's a cost that each of those departments couldn't incur to be able to, they have priorities as well. So we're happy that we're able to do it for them.
Well, these 75 tourniquets were expensive, I'm sure, as a lot of medical devices are.
Right.
So how do you raise the money to be able to do this?
Well, the Optimist Club does several fundraisers that are meant for, internal things and external operations, which means what we donate, what we give away, the projects that we do for the kids. But one of our biggest fundraisers is the Avenue of Flags, and it is very successful. One of our members who's just left town, he's moving out to Washington with his family, Dale Voigt, and was kind of a spearhead of this. There's a committee, obviously, Kent Riling, Mike Shepard, Rich Slayton, I don't know if you know Rich or not, was a longtime member. He actually brought the idea to the Optimist Club of Jasper from where he had done it in other clubs. And it has grown. I mean, I asked Dale at our most recent meeting, and we're up to almost 750 flags.
Okay, and what describe what the Avenue of Flags is. It's not just like one road with flags down it.
Right.
It's something else.
The Avenue of Flags is just an amazing patriotic nod from the Optimist Club. And I think every person that drives those routes is extremely proud of the work that they're doing, not only for the Optimist Club, but spreading, the feel that you get from driving down a street and seeing flags lining the road on both sides. But it's in neighborhoods, basically. And obviously they're in neighborhoods where Optimist members live. They store the flags, they get them out, put them in the ground on those holiday weekends, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Patriot Day. Our last one here will be Veterans Day. We'll have them out. We put them up on Flag Day, 4th of July. So people pay a membership to belong to that Avenue of Flags. We put the holder in their yard, and when those holidays come around, a crew of people go to those neighborhoods and put the flags up.
Well, then 2 questions. How can somebody get on the list of Avenue of Flags, and what is the fee?
The fee is $30 for the year.
And you take care of all of it. You don't even have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything, but just send your check in. And if you live in a neighborhood that doesn't have flags and you want to, this past year we had people from the Ireland area in Green Meadows. They actually, a couple of them joined the Optimist Club, and because they wanted flags in their yard, their neighborhood, they joined, and now we've got two routes in the Ireland area that we didn't have the year before.
Okay, and I guess contact an Optimist Club member?
They can contact me. Again, my number's in the phone book, 634-1388. Give me a call and leave me a message if I'm not there, and I'll be happy to get back with you and get you in touch with the right person.
Okay, so if you'd like to become an Optimist, or you'd like to participate in the Avenue of Flags, contact a Jasper Optimist member, right?
Okay.
Anything else, Jessica, that you'd like to add?
No, I'm just really proud to be an Optimist, and proud of the work that we do in the community. And this is just one, just one small thing that we try to do to, live up to the purposes of the Optimist Club, International.
All right, well, thank you very much. Our guest has been Jessica Mehringer. Now, Jessica was a past president of the Jasper Optimist Club, now the Zone 7 Lieutenant Governor in southern Indiana.
Right.
All right. And they have recently given 75 tourniquets to be used by local police officers in case of an emergency. What a great piece of work that they have done. Thank you for watching WJTS in.form. We are local people watching local people.